What is up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, back to talk to you guys about the second episode of Dark Matter. And thank you so much for all the love and appreciation and support on the first episode recap. If you haven't checked out the first episode already, go over here and check that out. Really appreciate it. And as always, if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, because it just shows YouTube and their algorithm masters that I'm worthy. So as always, I'm going to give you my recap, review, and talk about some theories, but I will warn you, this episode didn't really have that much stuff for me to theorize, at least for me. But of course, feel free to let me know what your theories are for this episode. So without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of Dark Matter, titled Trip of a Lifetime. The episode starts off with Jason running away from Leighton and his men and ending up at the Village Tap Bar. Jason tries to convince the bartender, Matt, of who he is, but Matt says he doesn't know him and forcibly asks Jason to leave. Jason leaves the bar and goes to a hospital where he tells the doctor that he thinks something is wrong with his head. Jason gets a CAT scan and is given something to help him rest. Back in the other reality, the evil Jason wakes up and tries to get used to his new life. That he stole, by the way. Good Jason is awakened by a doctor who asks him if he remembers anything. After some time, the doctor hands Jason an iPad that shows Jason's Wikipedia profile, and Jason uses this opportunity to look up Daniela by her maiden name. Having figured out Daniela's location, Jason impersonates a doctor and escapes the hospital, avoiding Leighton's security. Jason makes it to Daniela's art show and sees that the show is inspired about him. Well, actually, the evil version of him, but basically him. You know how the sci-fi stuff works. Jason finally finds Daniela and asks her where Charlie is, but she has no idea who Charlie is. Ryan arrives and he and Jason talk about where he's been for the last year. After the art show, Daniela, Ryan, and Jason all sit down and Daniela asks Jason to tell them where he's been this whole time. Jason starts to tell a story about a man who was taken away from the life that he knew, only to awake and everything around him is the same but different. And that man is him. I just thought that this scene was like a weird way to explain his situation. I was like, dude, just get to the point. Jason asks what inspired Daniela to make her art show about him, and Daniela recalls her last meeting with Jason, the evil one, and how he told her that he made a mistake with her all those years ago, and that this might be the last time they see each other. The next morning, Jason calls Amanda and tells her that he is going to put himself into a mental institution, and Amanda asks which hospital he's going to. After the call, Amanda rushes out of the house and into her car to meet Jason at the hospital. But little does she know that this was all part of Jason's plan to get her out of the house so that he and Daniela can go inside and investigate. In the house, Jason tries again to make Daniela remember their life together, but Daniela insists that those things never happened. And we'll talk about this scene and just this whole premise of this episode as a whole later in the review section of this video, but I really hate when shows do this. Again, we'll talk about it more in that section, but just grinds my gears.
You know, that really grinds my gears. Where exactly in the Bible does it say a man can't fire off some knuckle children in the privacy of his own neighbor's living room while his neighbor's at work because I don't have a DVD player?
Jason takes some notes from the office inside the house and goes back to Danielle's home to regroup. Back in the other reality, the evil Jason goes back to the storage unit and gathers some equipment and heads back to the black box that we saw at the beginning of the series. Back at Daniela's place, Jason looks over the evil Jason's notes and figures out that he has created the box. A box that is capable of allowing someone to travel to different realities. Jason and Danielle hear a doorbell ring and go in to investigate when suddenly one of Leighton's people, Dawn, shoots down the door and points a gun at Jason and Daniela. Daniela tries to call for help on her phone, but before she could do so, Dawn shoots Daniela in the head, killing her instantly. And that is the end of episode 2 of Dark Matter. And I gotta say, not the best episode. We're kind of playing catch up, or at least the characters are, with catching up with the audience already knowing what is going on. And that's one of the things that I really can't stand in just media in general, when you already give us, the audience, the answer of what is going on. In this case, you know, we know that there's two different realities, but the characters that we're watching don't know that yet. And I understand why they don't know that, because the way that the show is set up. But it's just a little frustrating for me when you see Jason go into these people that obviously we know as an audience they're not going to remember him, because he's a totally different person in a totally different reality. So it's just a little frustrating seeing him do the same routine over and over again of like, you know me, right? And the person's like, I don't know who you are. Or he goes here and he's like, no, this is my wife's name. And people are like, you don't have a wife, dude. So it was just really annoying, a lot of repetitive stuff with that. But hopefully after this episode, we don't have to deal with it as much. I have a feeling that's going to come back though. But overall, I did like that we got a little bit more information about what is going on. We didn't get all the answers, but that's to be expected because this is only the second episode. But I do like that they're continuing and building off the story. And I will say that the shocking ending of this episode of them actually killing Daniela in this universe was kind of unexpected. I did not expect that. And I do have a question. It's not necessarily a theory, but I do have a question I want to ask you guys about Daniela and the evil Jason universe. It got me thinking. But of course, guys, let me know what you think of the episode in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you guys with me on feeling that sentiment of like the whole, like the audience knows what's going on, but the characters don't? So we have to like wait for the characters to catch up to the audience. How do you guys feel about that? Let me know in the comments down below. Now we're getting to the part of the video where I talk about my theories, and I will say there isn't that much stuff to theorize in this episode. I do have a couple of like, little small things here and there. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, what is Leighton hiding? Now we get a little bit of information of what he could possibly be doing. I mean, there is a scene where he's talking to Amanda and he's like, hey, he could spill all our secrets if we don't find him soon. And that kind of makes me think of like, okay, what are you doing, or what did you do to Jason that you want him to not talk to other people? And what does Amanda know that is going on? Because they're talking to her about this, so she knows obviously what is going on. So that's a question that I have, and I'm sure we're going to get more information as the series goes by. But let me know what you think about what he could possibly be hiding. What is Leighton's deal? Let me know in the comments down below. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the box, the black box that transported evil Jason to a different world and got good Jason thrown into evil Jason's world. And I'm going to be talking about particularly the scene where we see evil Jason looking at his phone and looking at a surveillance camera of the black box, and he's just looking at it. And I was just sitting there, I was like, what are you waiting for? Is he waiting for the other Jason to come out of the box? Is he waiting for the inevitability of the good Jason figuring out that the black box is a thing and going through that and coming back to, reclaim his world, his reality? And the more I talk about this and the more I see this, I'm like, dang, this really is the 6th Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just replace the clones with actual different reality bodies of themselves, but it's basically the same thing. Clone is banging his wife, and the same thing happened in the movie. It's really similar.
Testing it? Because I don't think you have enough aluminum in there. Are you kidding me? That's exactly the same amount they used in the Rainforest War. You shouldn't be talking. The mess you left trying to fix your garage. You saw me working in a garage? Saw you? I nearly shot you.
But the last thing that I want to talk to you guys and discuss with you is not really a theory, it's more of a question. Now, there's a scene in this episode where good Jason is talking to Daniela from the different reality, and they get to talking about, Jason's life and his Daniela and their kid and everything. And then Daniela's like, how's the sex? And I was like, that's a weird thing to ask. And then they start making out, and it looks like, before they get rudely interrupted, that they're gonna get things going on. And I was asking myself, I was like, is this considered cheating? I mean, it's a different reality, but it's the same person. But it's also a different person. And it's not his wife, but it is his wife. And he's gonna get with her, but she's not his wife. So is that cheating? I pose this question to you guys because I'm still up in the air. I don't know. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's cheating? Do you don't think it's cheating? And let me know in the comments why, because I need us to talk about this. But as always, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what your theories are. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and video. And thank you guys so much for all the support. We're almost to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you all for your continued support with that. And remember, keep watching.